Hello friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So in this video, I'll be explaining you about the lab assignment number 3 of Object Oriented Programming, that is OOP, of second year information technology. So the lab assignment 1 and 2 is already covered in the previous video. So the link of that are given in the description as well as in the I button. Also do check out the link for the Telegram channel from which you will get the notification about internships, job updates, off-campus dive updates, and many more. So do check out the links in the description once. So now we'll start with the assignment number 3. So for that, we'll first see the problem statement. So the assignment 3 is based on inheritance. So I'll copy this problem statement. Okay, now I'll move to my Eclipse. So here I'll create new project, Java project. So new project, Java, then next. And the name for my project will be assignment 3, assignment underscore 3. Okay, so inside this I'll click on this arrow, then inside this source I'll first delete this module, so we actually don't need this. And then if I click on this source, I'll be able to create my Java class. So the name of my Java class will be same as that of my file name, so assignment underscore 3.java, and finish. Okay, so now our Java class is created with assignment 3. So here I'll paste the problem statement. So today's video will be a bit longer, so make sure that you watch till the end so that you will be able to understand this assignment and implement it easily. Okay, so this is the problem statement. Okay, so now we'll go through the problem statement and let's see what we have to do. So design and develop inheritance for a given case study. So identify objects and relationships and implement inheritance wherever applicable. So employee class has employee name, employee ID, address, mail ID, and mobile number as members. Inherit the classes programmer, team lead, assistant project manager, and project manager from employee class. So add basic pay as the member of all the inherited classes with 97% of BP as DA, 10% of BP as HRA, 12% of BP as PF, 0.1% of BP for staff club fund, and we have to generate the pay slips for the employees with their gross and net salary. Okay, so from the problem statement we'll divide this into the different parts. So main problem statement starts from here. So we'll first see about this problem statement. So employee class has employee name, employee ID, address, mail ID, and mobile number as members. So it means we have to create an employee class. So now I'll create the employee class. So I'll write here class. The name of the class is employee, and then inside this class we have these fields. So employee name, employee ID, address, mail ID, and mobile number. So I'll create that variables now here. So string employee name, so employee name will be string, then employee ID is there, address will also be string, so I'll include this by separating it with commas. Then mail ID will also be string. Then next is mobile number. So mobile number also I'll keep it as string only, mobile number, because if you take it integer then it is too small for the mobile number to store, and also if you use the float or double then there will be a rounding up and which will have the loss of information. So to avoid that we have using here string, okay, for the mobile number. Then I'll use integer for the employee ID, so emp underscore ID. Okay, so we have done with our first statement. Then second is inherit the classes, so we have to inherit these classes. So which are those classes? First is the programmer. So I'll create class programmer, and which will inherit. So it means it will use the extends keyword, and it is inheriting with the employee class. Okay. So like this, we have created our programmer class. Similarly, we have to create the team lead class, assistant project manager, and project manager class. So I'll copy this whole code and I'll just paste it here. Okay, so second one is team lead. Team lead. Third one is assistant project manager. Okay, and next one is project manager. Okay, so we have created our four classes which are inheriting or which are extending to our employee class. Then we have to add basic pay as the number of as the member of all the inherited classes. So we have to add the basic pay. So for that, what we'll do is we'll take the basic pay from the input, because it will differ according to the role, that is programmer, team lead, project manager, like that. So for that we'll need scanner class. So I'll import that class here. Import java.util.scanner. So now I'll use this class. So now in the programmer, team lead, assistant project manager, and project manager will be writing the same method. So for that I'll make multiple cursors. Okay, then here I'll create the object of our scanner class. So sc is equal to new scanner. System.in. Okay, and then here only will define the basic pay. Okay, so we have to write the basic pay also. So that also I'll define here only. So for that I'll take it as float. Basic pay I'll denoting it with dot capital BP. Okay, so now we'll make use of this BP. So now here we have to create the method to accept the basic pay. So now here I'll again press. Okay, so here we have to write system.in. System.in. Okay, so now here I'll accept that, right? So for that I'll create one method with a void as a return type, void basic underscore pay, and then inside this I'll write statement as system dot out dot print ln, sorry, print, and then I'll display one message as enter your basic pay. Enter your basic pay. So that user will enter, and will store that into our BP variable is equal to sc dot next float. Okay, because we have defined it with float. Next float. Okay, so similarly we'll copy this method into all of the other classes which are inherited. So I'll copy this whole method and I'll paste below this. And here. Okay, so now after this what we have to do is we have to make use of these variables, because we have defined them but haven't used yet. So now we'll create one method which will display these details or accept the inputs from the user, and then depending upon that it will generate the payslips. So for that we'll first here write that method name, which is display employee details. Okay, so using this method will display the employee details. So now here also we'll take the input from the user. So for that also we have to make use of scanner class. Okay, so for that I'll create the object here, scanner sc is equal to new scanner in bracket system.in. Okay, so now here I'll write system dot out dot println no, dot print, and then inside this I'll write enter employee name, or enter name of employee, enter name of employee. Okay, and that whatever the user will enter, that will store into our emp underscore name variable sc dot next. Now here we are going to accept this string, so for that we have to write here sc dot next line, so it will scan the whole line. Okay, so now next is to accept the input for address. So here I'll write enter address. Okay, so this I'll remove, enter address. So now address is also string, so it will be fine. Next line, just we have to change the variable address. Okay, then next we have the mail id or employee id. Okay, so here before the address we'll take the employee id, so enter employee id. Okay, and employee id is integer, so for that we have to write here next int, and here it's emp id. Okay, then address is done, then we have the mail id, so right here mail id. Okay, so mail id, which is also string, so next line is correct for that, so mail underscore id. Then we have to accept the mobile number, which is also string, so here I'll write enter mobile number. Okay, and I'll just change the variable name, which is mobile underscore no. Okay, so we have accepted the mobile number also. So now I'll show you there is some error, or you can say that whenever you are trying to accept the address, you'll automatically be skipping this field. So that's why we are getting that error. I'll show you when we'll see the output. Okay, so for to solve that we have to add here some code. Okay, so now we have done with our display employee details. Now we have to perform this calculation or to generate the pay slips according to this formula. So for that again we'll create one variable, sorry, method. So here I'll create the method with void generate payslips. Okay, so we are generating the payslips because in the problem statement only they are saying that to generate the payslips with gross and net salary. Okay, so now here what we have to do is we have to create the variables for this DA, HRA, PF and staff club fund. Okay, so that I'll create here. So all I'll keep it as float because point values may be there. So DA, HRA, then what we have DA, HRA, PF and staff club fund. PF staff club fund, I am denoting it with STC, sorry, SCF, I'll write staff club fund. Then we have to calculate the net salary and gross salary. So for that also I'll create one variable gross salary comma net salary. Okay, and basic pay will be using directly that depending upon the role of the particular employee. Okay, so net salary. Then next again we'll now calculate the values of this DA depending upon the formula they have given. Okay, so what is DA? DA is 97% of BP, that is basic pay. So how you'll write that? So here you can write the formula for DA as DA is equal to 97%, which means 0.97, right, into basic pay. So what is our basic pay? Is nothing but BP. So if you found this statement as difficult, so here it is showing me the error because this is float value, so you have to write here F. Okay, so this statement can also be written as 97 divided by 100, which is nothing but 97% into your PP. So this is nothing but your DA. So DA stands for basically, DA stands for dearness allowances. Okay, so these are some terms inside your salary or payment slips. So we have done with our DA. Second is HRA. So HRA is equal to how many it is given? HRA is, here you can see, 10% of our BP. So 10% of our BP. So which means 0.10 into BP. So again I have to write here F. Okay, so this also can be written as 10 divided by 100 into your BP, and this HRA stands for house rent allowances. Okay, then next we have to calculate the PF. So PF is equal to, so how much PF is given? PF is 12% of our BP. So 12% means 0.12 F into your basic pay. So this also can be written as 12 by 100 into BP, and this PF stands for your provident fund. Okay, provident fund, right, FUND fund. Okay, the next we have to calculate the SCF or staff club fund. So SCF is equal to, they have given as 0.1 of BP. Okay, so 0.1%. So that means 0.001 F into your BP. Okay, so this also written as 0.1 divided by 100 into your BP. Okay, and this SCF in our case stands for staff club fund. Okay, provident fund, okay. Then we have to calculate our gross salary and net salary. So now this is very important because you have to know actually what is included inside your gross salary and what is included inside your net salary. So basically inside your gross salary, your basic pay and what are the allowances are there, they are included. So what are our allowances in our case? It is DA and HRA. So the formula for gross salary in our case will be basic pay plus, so basic pay is denoted by BP plus allowances. So first allowances is DA, that is dearness allowances, and second one is HRA, that is house rent allowances. This is your gross salary. So this is important formula that you have to keep in mind. Then second, net salary. So net salary, which includes the all, that is basic pay, allowances, provident fund, and whatever staff club fund. Okay, so but you have to remember that this provident fund and staff club fund will be reduced or deducted from your main salary. Okay, so for that we have the formula right like this, that is basic pay plus DA plus HRA, this all will be added, and then from this you will subtract your PF minus SCF. Okay, so this is the one formula. So but you can see here gross salary is already BP plus DA plus HRA, so you can replace these three statements or three terms with gross salary. Okay, so I'll replacing them with gross underscore salary, so which will give me the net salary. Okay, so we have now calculated all the formulas and as well as the gross salary and net salary. So now what we'll do is we'll generate the payslip or display the details to the user. So for that I'll write here some print statement system.out dot print ln. Okay, so print ln, and inside this I'll write slash n and 10. Okay, so this is just a string. Okay, wait a minute. Copy, then paste, and first we'll display the employee details first. Okay, so employee details, so I'll write here employee details. Then next statement we have to display these details, so system dot out dot print ln, and inside this I will display the details of the employee. So first we'll display the name of employee, so which is stored inside our emp underscore name variable. Okay, then second we'll display our address, employee id. Okay, so employee id, I'll write here employee id, and which is stored inside our emp underscore id variable. Okay, then next we have is address. So we'll write here address, and it is stored inside our address variable. Okay, address. Then next we have, I think, mail id, right? So mail id, so which is stored inside our, okay, so here I'll write mail id, and it is stored inside our mail underscore id variable, mail underscore id. And then we have the mobile number. Okay, so mobile number, and it is stored inside our mobile underscore no. Okay, so here we have displayed the details. Now we have to display the payment slips, so that is the gross salary and net salary. So for that also I'll print this statement something. Let's just change the heading inside this, so which is payment slip, pay slip, right? Pay slip, what they have generate pay slips. Okay, so pay slip, and now inside this pay slip what you are going to display the basic pay, then gross salary and net salary. Okay, so they have just mentioned to display the gross and net salary, but we are displaying the basic pay also. So here I'll write system.out.println statements. Okay, and now here I'll display the basic pay or basic salary. You can write it as basic salary. Okay, write basic pay only. Then gross salary, okay, and then net salary. Okay, so variables BP is stored in our BP, basic pay, then gross salary is stored in our gross underscore salary, and our net salary is stored inside our net underscore salary. Okay, so we have displayed this payment slips also. Now we have to create the objects and call the methods of these particular classes. So for that we'll now work on our main method inside our assignment-3 class. So here I'll create our main method with public static void main string and arguments. Okay, so now here also I'll need the scanner class, so I'll create the object of this, new scanner system.in. Also I'll need the choice variable, so I'll define that here, int choice. Okay, so now we have to take the input from the user, that is the what is his role, that is either he is programmer or team lead or assistant project manager or project manager. So for that we have to use the do while loop, because I want these statements to be displayed at least once. So I'll write here system dot out dot println. I'll replace the content inside this. Okay, and here I'll write slash n, then menus, or you can say it as select, choose your position. Okay, choose your position, choose your position. Okay, so then what we'll display the some menus or the position. So first position is programmer, programmer, programmer. Then new line. Second is team lead. Then third is assistant project manager, right? Right, assistant project manager. And next one is project manager. Next, sorry, new line. Fourth is project manager, and fifth will give it as exit. Okay, so exit. Okay, so menus are displayed. Now we have to take the user choice. So for that, I'll again write the system.out.println statement, and here I'll write, instead of, I'll remove ln. So here I'll write enter your choice, and whatever choice user will enter, I'll store that into my choice variable, is equal to sc dot next int. Okay, so now we have done with our displaying these menus and accepting the choice. Now we'll switch that choice variable. So for that I'll make it of switch, and here I'll be switching the choice variable. So now inside this I'll have the cases. So my first case will be for programmer. Okay, so for programmer what I'll do is I'll first uh, call this method which is inside my employee class to display the employee details. Then it will ask the user to enter the details, right, these employee details and all. Here instead of display you can write it as get employee details, so which is more correct, because we are getting the details from the employee. Okay, so get employee details, this method will be called, then the user will enter all his details. Now after this we have to call these methods depending upon whatever the user has given choice, whether it's programmer, team leader, or what. So then we have to call this method. After we get the basic pay, we have to generate the payment slip. So this will be your flow of calling the methods or creating the objects. Okay, so first now we'll create the object of our programmer class. So for that I'll copy the name of my class, and now here I'll create the object with suppose pgrm, which is programmer, is equal to new, and the constructor, default constructor of our programmer class. Okay, so now using this pgrm, now I'll call the get employee details method which is inside our employee class. Okay, so these all methods whichever we have inherited will be able to use this method or the variables which are present inside our employee class or the base class. So this is the use of inheritance, because we are achieving the code reusability using this concept. So we don't have to write this code in each and every classes to generate or to calculate particular payment slips. So we have just typed them once and we are reusing it again and again in our inherited classes. So this is the concept of inheritance. So now I'll call this method first. Okay, so pgrm, that is object name plus method name. So now this method will be called, then now all the details will be entered by the user. Now after that we have to call the basic pay method to accept the basic pay. So for that we have that method present inside our programmer. Okay, so I'll call this method basic pay. Okay, now after basic pay we have, now depending upon that we have to generate the payment slip. So that method we have to call now. So that method is present inside our employee class. So I'll copy the name of my class method and I'll just paste it here. Okay, so this is done with our programmer class. Similarly we have to do with our other classes or the other positions. So I'll paste that here. I'll make it as case 2, and now here we have the case 2 for team lead. So now we have to create the object for our team lead. So team lead, and now object name will be suppose TL, and here we have to replace it with TL. Next case we have is for the assistant project manager. Okay, so I'll make it as case 3, and now I'll create the object of my assistant project manager class, and the object name I'll give it as APM, and here I'll replace this TL with APM. Okay, now similarly I'll do for the project manager. Okay, so case 4. Okay, and I'll name it as PJM, which is project manager. PJM. Okay, now fifth choice we have given for exit, so that case also will write here case 5, which is exit. So I'll just display one statement, system.out.println successfully exited. And make sure that you write your break statement. So in yesterday's assignment I have missed the break statement, so that's why it's showing you the default statement also. So that I have mentioned the description as well as in the comment section for the yesterday's assignment, that is assignment 2. So now next we have to write the default case. So default, I'll write it as system.out.println invalid input, please try again. Okay, so we have done with our do. Now we have to write the while condition. So here I'll write while my choice variable is not equal to 5. So until and unless user enter 5, continue this execution of this statements. Okay, so this is what this statement is showing. Basically this while condition will is nothing but our stopping condition for this particular loop. So we have done with our code. Now we'll run this. Okay, so I'll save this and now we'll run this. Okay, so now I'll show you what actually it is happening while you are accepting or getting the employer details, and you'll miss this enter address statement. Okay, so we'll see, then I'll show you the solutions for that also. So here it is asking for me to enter my position, so I'll enter 1. So name I'll enter here Yogesh Borhade. Employee ID I'll enter suppose 10. So see here you will see that enter address we are not able to write the information or the value for this enter address. It is directly moving to the next statement, which is enter mail ID. So even if I write here suppose yogesh@gmail.com and mobile number, suppose I'll write something like this, and suppose I'll write basic pay as 25,000. So it is showing me the details, but your address field is empty. Okay, your address field is empty and a payslip is generated, right? So now what is the solution for this, or why actually this is happening? Because you have accepting the input field before this address, and that is employee ID, right? So employee ID is integer, and if you suppose I have written 10, so after hitting the enter button my cursor is still here in front of this 10. So this gives the null value to our employee, that is address field. It gives null values, and that is what displayed here, but we don't want that. So we'll accept or remove that next line into the sc dot. We'll store that the next enter whatever you are typing in by hitting the enter, so it will be getting giving you the null value. So that null value will store here with sc dot next line. So my null value will be stored here, and then this statement will be displayed, and whatever you will write, it will be stored in your address variable. So now I'll save this and I'll again run my program. Now we'll be able to store our address field. Okay, so now here I'll write suppose 1. So I'll give it name as Yogesh Purade. Employee ID I'll give it as 10. Address I'll give it as suppose Pune. Mail ID I'll write it as suppose Yogesh @gmail.com. This is dummy email. Okay. So mobile number I'll write it as something like this. This is also dummy. So basic pay I'll write it as suppose 25,000. So here you will be able to see now our address field or the address detail is correctly displayed. So here name is displayed, employee ID is displayed, address, mail ID and mobile number is displayed, and here you will be able to see your pay slip, which is basic pay we have given as 25,000, gross salary and net salary. Okay, so if you want you can display these details also, that is DA, HRA, PF, SCF, but that is not mentioned in the problem statement, so I have skipped that. Okay, so you can just check out, cross check this values. Okay, we'll do that also here only. Calculator, so we'll see scientific calculator, right? Okay, so what I have given, okay, I'll minimize this. Okay, so you'll be able to see the formulas. Okay, here, so see here, we have given our basic pay as 25,000, so I'll write it as 25,000, and we have our DA, or you can say it as right, DA as 97%, so I'll write it as into 97 by 100, which will give me 24,250. Okay, so I'll copy this value and I'll just paste it here. Okay, so it will be helpful for us to understand. Next we'll calculate our HRA. So now my HRA is 25,000, that is basic pay, into 10%, right? So I'll write it right here 0.10. Okay, so which comes out to be 25,000, sorry, 2,500. So I'll write it here 2,500. Then we have our provident fund, so which is again 25,000 into provident fund is 0.12, so 0.12, so which is equal to 3,000. Okay, and then SCF, that is staff club fund, 25,000, which is basic pay, into staff club fund is 0.001. Okay, so it is giving me as 25. So 25. Okay, so these are the values that we have calculated. Now we'll check for our gross salary, so which is equal to basic pay. So basic pay is 25,000, so plus DA, which is 24,250, plus our HRA, which is 2500. Okay, so here it's 25,000 plus 24250 and 2500, so which is nothing but 51,750, which is correctly displayed here. And the net salary is nothing but your gross salary. Gross salary is 51,750 minus your provident fund, that is 3,000, minus staff club fund is 25 rupees, so which is nothing but 48,725, so which is correctly displayed here. Okay, so in this way we have to calculate and generate our payment slips. So you can check out the output for the other statements also, that is other roles. Okay, so now here I'll enter my choice 2. So here name I'll write something, ID I'll write suppose 25, address I'll write something, and mail ID also I'll write suppose something. So we are just going to check the output. So this is also something. Basic pay here I'll write suppose 50,000. Okay, so the names are correctly displayed and payment slip is also displayed. Now we'll check for our assistant project manager. So here also I'll write something. So mail ID also I'll write something, and mobile number also I'll write something. And basic pay here I'll write suppose 65,000. Okay, so this is what your gross salary and net salary. And now we'll check for project manager. Oh, sorry, employee ID is integer, address is suppose Pune, mail ID is suppose this @gmail.com, and mobile number will be something like this. Basic pay now I'll enter here as 95,000. Okay, so this is your gross salary, net salary. And now if I've entered something invalid input, so it is showing me that invalid input, and if I've entered 5, it is showing me that successfully exited. So in this way you have to implement this assignment of inheritance. Inheritance is very important because it helps us to reuse our code. Okay, so I'll explain this or summarize this, and then we'll close this video lecture. Okay, so first in the problem statement they have mentioned us to create employee class which will have these variables or fields, that is employee name, employee ID, address, mail ID and mobile number as members. So we have created those. So employee name, address, mail ID, mobile number, I have all taken them into the string, and employee ID is integer and float is nothing but your basic pay. Then we have to inherit the classes, that is programmer, team lead, assistant, project manager and project manager from employee class. So for that we have to make use of extends keyword. So I have created here class programmer which will be extending my employee class. Similarly for team lead, assistant, project manager and project manager. Then next statement they have given us that add basic pay as the member of all the inherited classes. So basic pay we have to add it to all the inherited classes. Okay, so I have declared that in the employee class itself. Then next is they have given us formula to calculate the different fields like DA, HRA, PF, staff club fund, and depending upon that you have to generate the payment slips which will display gross and net salary. So now we'll first look at the employee class. So it has these variables. Then I have created the scanner class object, and using that object now I'll accept the input fields into this employee name, email ID, address, mobile number and mail ID. Okay, so for that I have created the method with name get employee details, and then just displayed the statement and accepted the input. So here I have used the next line again because you are entering your integer values, and after hitting the enter button your cursor will be still there in front of your integer values. So that will result into the null value into your next field, and it will automatically jump to the next field, that is mail ID. So to avoid this we have store your next null values after hitting the enter button into the this variable into this, okay, using this statement, that is sc.next line. So that your address will be also accepted, mail id will be accepted, both. So this is about get employee details method. Then we have to generate the payment slips. So for that they have given us the formulas for DA HRA. So for that I have created the variables, and then depending upon the formula I have calculated these particular values. Okay, so you can either write this 0.97f into BP, or you can write it as 97 by 100 into BP. So DA stands for dearness allowance, HRA stands for house rent allowance, PF stands for provident fund, and staff club fund for SCF. So PF and staff club fund will be deducted from your salary, whereas DA and HRA will be added to your salary, that is gross salary as well as your net salary. So that things you have to keep in mind. So I'll remove this. Okay, so gross salary is nothing but your basic pay plus your allowances, that is DA and HRA. Next is your net salary. So net salary is nothing but your all the allowances will be added to your salary, and deductions, that is PF and SCF will be deducted. So see here, gross salary is equal to PP plus DA plus HRA, and net salary is equal to gross salary, which is nothing but BP plus HRA plus DA minus PF minus SCF. Okay, so this is your calculation part. So now then we have to display the employee details which we have taking or accepting using this method. So that I have displayed here. Name of the employee is employee name, ID, address, mail ID, and mobile number. And then finally we have to generate the payment slips which will have the gross salary and net salary, but we are only, also displaying the basic pay. So for that I have just displayed the statement, and I have here concatenate with BP variable, then gross salary and net salary. Okay, and then in this class I have created the basic pay method which will help us to accept the basic pay from the user or the employee depending upon its role. So then we have stored that in the BP variable. Similarly for team lead, assistant project manager, and project manager. Now in the main method we have created this scanner class object with SC name. Then I have created the choice variable which will have the int as a data type. Then I have to use here do while loop because I want this statements to be displayed at least once. So here system.out.println and have displayed the message choose your position. So the user will be able can choose programmer, team lead, assistant project manager, or exit depending upon its choice. So that choice I am storing it into my choice variable. So which is we have declared inside our main method. Now, depending upon the user input or a choice, we'll switch our cases. So case one can be that user will having the role of programmer. So in that case, we'll create the object of our programmer class, and using that object, I'll call the get employee details, which is present inside our employee class. Okay, basic pay is present in our programmer class, and generate payslips is also present inside our employee class. So here you can see that we haven't write this method, that is get employee details and generate payment slips, into our programmer class, but still we are able to use those classes. So that is nothing but with the help of our inheritance. Okay, so this is the sequence that you have to follow while calling this method. First you will accept the details, then you will accept the basic pay, and then depending upon this basic pay will generate the payment slips. Then write break statement, and then say same you have to do, just we have to create the object of different classes. So second choice we have given for team lead, so that's why I have created the object for team lead. Third is assistant project manager, so I have created the object for assistant project manager, and fourth is project manager. And the fifth is for exit, so I have just displayed the statement as successfully exited. Don't forget to write here break statement, and then default case we have written and displayed the message. So if the user entered anything other than 1 2 3 4 5, okay, so then you'll this message will be displayed. So make sure that it only accepts the input. If you enter the character, it will give you a error or exception for I think input mismatch or something like that. And this do while loop or this loop should stop somewhere, so that's why we have given the while condition, which is choice not equal to 5. So until and unless user will enter 5, or this loop will be executed. So this is about the code for this assignment. So if you have any doubt in this assignment, let me know in the comment section, and do check out the description for the oral questions as well as the links of the previous lectures and the Telegram link. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep practicing, keep learning. See you in the next video.